Iain from RTO here. Welcome to Friday, and it's the first day I haven't had to have the light on. This is natural light. Anyway, it's live album day, and today we've got one of the greatest guitarists that ever lived in my books, and that's Mr. Jeff Beck. Incredible guitarist. He was the guitarist. We've done all his studio albums, so we thought I'd do his live albums. Now, there are 10 official live albums covering all his period. So let's get cracking. So at number 10, this is from 1973, and it's live in Japan, but it's actually Boat, Burgert and a Piece, and it was recorded between them on the 18th and 19th of May 1973 in Osaka in Japan. I'll get shot for saying that wrong. So it's Jeff Beck, Tim Bogert and Carmine Appice. All these tracks come off their Bogert Appice Beck album. The first one on here is a great version of Stevie Wonder's Superstition, absolutely killer. Then we have Lose Myself for You, which is a great track. It's more of a jam, man. Jeff's Boogie, another sort of jam. Then we've got Going Down, which is a Moloch song from 1969, pretty good. Then we got Boogie, which is the jam, and Morning Dew from Bonnie Dobson, which they did on Truth. He did on Truth. Then we've got Sweet Surrender, which is a brilliant little song. Living Alone from the BBA album. Then he does a Curtis Mayfield. They do a Curtis Mayfield song, I'm So Proud, which is also on the BBA album. Lady, great track, one of my favourites. Then we have Black Cat Moan, some great guitar work on that one. Then we've got Why Should I Care, which is a Raymond Louis Kennedy number. Then we've got Plinth Shotgun Melody from Beckola. Brilliant. It's not a bad album. Nice to hear some of these tracks off the Beck, Bogert and Appice album. So I'm going to give this an RTO ranking of 7 out of 10. Okay, coming in at number 9. This is released in 1977, and it was recorded on the 76 tour, and it's Jeff Beck with the Jan Hammer Group. It's got Jeff Beck on guitars, and got the Jan Hammer Group, which is Jan Hammer on keyboards, Tony Smith on drums, Fernando Saunders on the bass, and Steve Kindler on the violin. So the first track on here is a track off the Blow by Blow album from Jeff, and it's Freeway Jam. Love that track. Then there's a track from one of Jan Hammer's albums, Earth, Still Only Home, from his Like Children album. It's pretty good. She's a Woman, Beatles song, B-side of I Feel Fine, and it was on Blow by Blow as well. Full Moon Boogie, excellent little track. Then we have another Jan Hammer track, Darkness Stroke Earth in Search of Sun from the First 7 Days. Then we have the brilliant Scatterbrain from Blow by Blow, and Blue Wind, which is a Jan Hammer track that he wrote for Jeff off of the Wired album. Some good improv music on here. I like listening to this, so I'm going to give it an RTO ranking of 7.7. Okay, coming in number 8 is an album called Rock and Roll Party, and it's honouring Les Paul. It's with Jeff Beck and some of his friends, and it was a tribute to the late great Les Paul. Recorded in the Iridium Jazz Club in New York, where Les played on many occasions up until his death in 2009, and this was recorded in 2010 on the day that would have been Les Paul's 95th birthday. So people that play on here, Imelda May and her band, Jason Rebello, Brian Setzer, trombone shorty Gary US Bonds. It's just lots of rock and roll sort of numbers. So that we've got Double Talking Baby featuring Daryl Hyman, pretty good. Cruising Dream, Vincent Number, Daryl Hyman again. Train Kept a Rolling, everybody's covered that. That's got Daryl Hyman. And then Cry Me a River, Imelda May, who's worked with Jeff on numerous occasions, and Jason Rubello, brilliant. How High the Moon, wonderful Imelda May on that. Sitting on the Top of the World, brilliant version of that. Again, Imelda May sings it. Blue Bye Bye Blues featuring Amanda May again, brilliant. The World is Waiting for the Sunrise. Vaya con Doir, Mockingbird Hill, which is absolutely brilliant on here. I'm a Fool to Care, brilliant version of that. Tiger Rag. The Peter Gunn theme, which is Jason Rebello and the trombone shorty, brilliant. Rockin' Is Our Business, features everybody. Apache, the Shadows number, really good. Sleepwalk, I love that. Then Gary US Bonds comes out and does his New Orleans. Then we have Walking in the Sand, which is remembered was covered by Aerosmith. Please Mr. Jailer, brilliant. And then it ends with 20 Flight Rock and Eddie Cochran with Brian Setzer. Good album of jazz, rock and roll and blue. Can't go wrong. I'll give that an RTO ranking of 8 out of 10. Coming in at number 7. This is Live in Tokyo 1999, and it was recorded at the Tokyo International Forum in Japan on February the 6th, 1999. His band, it was on bass Randy Hope Taylor, drums Steve Alexander, on guitar the wonderful Jennifer Batten. So this one opens off for a couple of tracks from the Who Else album, What Mama Said and Psycho Sam, just excellent playing. Then Brush with the Blues. Then we go to There and Back for a bit of Star Cycle, great guitar. It sounds, him and Jennifer working well. Then we go to a great track off the Jeff Beck's Guitar Shop, Savoy. Back to the Who Else for a little bit of Blast from the Past. Then we have a cover of the Beatles of Day in the Life, which is fantastic how he does it. Then we get Declan from Who Else, pretty good at that. Then Thanks from Who Else. The Pump from There and Back, one of my favourites off that album. 'Cause We've Ended as Lovers, a Stevie Wonder number from Blow by Blow. Space for the Papa from Who Else is on here. Then Angel, Even Odds, all from Who Else. Obviously this was the tour. You Never Know from There and Back. Blue Wind from Wired. The Big Block from the Guitar Shop album. What a great little album. Jennifer's playing is brilliant. Lots of songs off the Who Else, of course, but they are much better than the studio, so I'm going to give this an RTO ranking of 8.3. Okay, coming in at number 6. Recorded in 2003 at the BB King Blues Club, and it was released to the general public in 2006. And it features Jeff Beck on guitars, the brilliant Terry Bozzio on drums, and Tony Hymas on keyboards and effects. First track is a little number from It Ain't You Had It Coming, which is not the best of albums, but Roy Toy is great live. Psychoasm from Who Else, brilliant. Big Block on here is brilliant from the Guitar Shop album. A little bit of Freeway Jam from Blow by Blow, brilliant version of that. I love it because it's just the three of them. Brush with the Blues, brilliant on here. Scatterbrain from Blow by Blow as well. Then we have a great track off Wired, Goodbye Pork Pie Hat. Amazing playing from Jeff on that. Nadia from You Had It Coming, and again a little bit of Savoy from the Guitar Shop album. Angel from who else? Now, Seasons is from the Jeff album. I'm not a big fan of that, but this is a good version of it. Where Were You from the Guitar Shop, really good. Then we have You Never Know from There and Back Again. A Day in the Life, the Beatles cover. People Get Ready from Flash. Again, it's not very good on the album, but the live version is pretty cool. My Thing from Jeff ends the album. There's some fine playing on here. You got Terry Bozzio on the drums and Tony on keyboards, Emerson guitar thoughts, and Jeff doing bass. You know, guitars terrific. There's some great playing from these three fine musicians. So I'm going to give this an RTO ranking of 8.5. Okay, coming in at number 5 from 2007. It's the official Bootleg USA, recorded in 2006 on the American tour. So another great lineup here on the bass. Pino Palladino plays on lots of stuff. Vinny Colautra on the drums. Jason Rebello on the keyboards and Jeff on the guitars, of course. This one opens up with Beck's Bolero, written by Jimmy Page, from Truth. Then they do Stratus, which is a Billy Cobham number from Spectrum. Brilliant version of it. Absolutely think Billy Cobham a fine musician. You Never Know from There and Back. Always good, that is. Because We Ended as Lovers. Stevie Wonder from the Blow by Blow album. Always a good track. Then we have a couple of tracks from the Jeff Beck's Guitar Shop. Behind the Veil, love that track. Two Rivers, wonderful track again. Star Cycles on this one from There and That. The Big Block from the Guitar. Great shop album. Love that track. And a couple of firm favourites. Nadia the River from You Had It Coming. Angels from who else? Scatterbrains on here. Lead Balut. Brilliant. Then we do a little medley of two tracks. One from the Wide album, Goodbye Pork Pie Hat. Cupped together with, from who else? Brush with the Blues. Blue Winds on here. And then Over the Rainbow, which would appear on Emotion and Commotion. Another flawless album from Jeff Beck. Wonderful playing on this. All these albums are good, so I'm going to give this one an RTO ranking of 8.8. Okay, coming in at number 4. This was released in 2010, and it's live and exclusive from the Grammy Museum. It was recorded at the museum in 2010 in front of 200 people. So playing on here is Jeff Beck, of course. Jason Rebello on keyboards. The wonderful Rhonda Smith, another fine bass player on that. And then we've got Michael Walden on the drums. Now this opens up with his version of Corpus Christi Carol, written by Benjamin Britten off his Emotion and Commotion album. I mean, this is a very old hymn, carol. It's wonderful how he makes that guitar talk. All these tracks come off Emotion and Commotion. Hammerhead, which is brilliant. I love that. Over the Rainbow, of course, lovely version of that. Then we have a bit of Day in Life. And then probably, they say this is one of the greatest versions of this, Nessun Dorma. He makes that guitar sound on it. It's a brilliant track. How High is the Moon? It's a jazz standard from 1940. Then we have his version of People Get Ready, which on Flash features Rod Stewart, his old babe from the Jeff Beck band. Now that's the only tracks on the album. It may be short, but it's excellent. It's intimate, and it's got probably a great that version of Nessun Dorma is brilliant. So I'm going to give this one an RTO ranking of 9 out of 10. Top 3. This was so hard, but these are all great albums. So number 3 is performing this week live at Ronnie Scott's. It was also a DVD, recorded in November 2007, released a year later in 2008. Other performers on here is on the keyboards, Jason Rebello. Vinnie Coulter on the drums, and the wonderful, talented Tal Wickenfield, the Australian bass player. She is brilliant. So what have we got? Well, it opens up with Beck's Bolero. The bass playing from Tal is brilliant on that. Then we from John McLaughlin, a little bit of John McLaughlin's Eternity's Breath, which goes into Billy Cobham's Stratus. Brilliant how them two work together, them two tracks. Then a bit of Stevie Wonder for 'Cause We Ended as Lovers from Blow by Blow. Excellent version of that. Behind the Veil, written by Tony Hymas from Jeff Beck's Guitar Shop. Brilliant. You Never Know, a Jan Hammer number that he wrote from And There and Back. Nadia's on this. You have from You Had It Coming. Blast from the East from who else? Bit of Lead Boots as well from who else? Wired, sorry. Angels on here from who else? Scatterbrain, I love that. Then they do that sort of medley together of Goodbye Pork Pie and Brush with the Blues again. A bit of Space Boogie, There and Back. Big Block from the Guitar Shop. Day in the Life is always a firm favourite. And Where Were You from the Guitar Shop. Another great album. The bass player Tal Wilkenfeld, brilliant guitar player she is. Excellent album. So I'm going to give this an RTO ranking of 9.5. Number 2. There's some new studio recordings on this one. It's called Live Plus. Came out in 2015. The live tracks were recorded on their in his US tour in 2014. Playing on here we have Jeff Beck, of course, bass, Rhonda Smith, drums on the live is Jonathan Joseph, drums on the studio is Veronica Bellino. Got Jimmy Hall on some of the singing. I think in the studio it's Ruth Lorenzo, and Veronica does this. So the live stuff, we got Plan B, a track that was written by Nicholas Meyer. Absolutely wonderful track. Some nice guitar work on that. Then we have Morning Dew from Truth, the old Bonnie Dobson number, pretty good. Then another track written by McLagan, but it was on the Flash, You Know. Then we have a little track written it was on an EP called the Yosaki EP, and it's Why I Give Up. Brilliant guitar work on that. A Change Is Gonna Come, which of course is a Sam Cooke number, does a great version of it. Then we have Yemin, another track from Nicholas Meyer off his album Yus. Day in the Life's on here. Bit of Superstition from the Beck Bogart piece. Hammerhead's on here, which is always a firm favourite with me. Little Wing, a great version of Jimi Hendrix Experience from the Boulder's Love album. Big Block from Jeff Beck's Guitar Shop. Then we have Where Were You from the Guitar Shop again, and then he does a nice little version of Danny Boy. Rolling in and Tumbling, which is a Muddy Waters number that he done on it. You Had It. Going Down from the Jeff Beck. Then Tribal, this is a new studio track. I love this. The drumming from Veronica is good. You've got this nice little bit of guitar work from Jeff. Of all the studio tracks, my favourite is this one, My Tiled White. It's got a great vocal from Veronica, and I just love it. I really like this live album, and I like the cover. The covers are good, the studio tracks are good, so I'm going to give this an RTO ranking of 9.6. But my number one album, and I think this was one of his last live albums. It came out in 2017, recorded at the Hollywood Bowl in August of 2016, and it's just live at the Hollywood Bowl, 50 years of Jeff Beck. On here we have got Rona Smith on bass, drums Jonathan Joseph, Jeff Beck on guitars, on rhythm guitar Carmen Vandenberg, Jan Hammer comes and does a bit of keyboards, Vocals, people, special guests. We've got Beth Hart, Billy Gibbons, Jimmy Hall, Rosie Bones, Steven Tyler, and vocals and guitar, Buddy Guy. What a lineup of people. So this starts from a track from the Loudhailer, probably his last great album in my books. I love this, and it's The Revolution Will Be Televised. I love the singing on that. It's absolutely brilliant. Then he does a Yardbirds song from Roger the Engineer with Jimmy Hall singing on it, and it's the lovely over under sideways down. I love that. Then we have a song that was written by 10cc's Graham Goldman, and it's Heart Full of Soul, which was Jeff's first song with the Yardbirds. Pretty good version of that. Staying with on the Yardbirds, we have For Your Love, again written by Graham Goldman from the Yardbirds album. Then we have Truth, bit of Beck's Bolero, brilliant. And then Plinth, Water Down the Drain. Jimmy Hall does the vocals instead of Rod. That's brilliant song from Beckola. Then they have one. I love this because it's got Rice Pudding, which is my favourite track off the Beckola album. I love that. And then, of course, Morning Dew, the Bonnie Dobson from Truth. Then they do Freeway Jam with Jan Hammer coming out, album from Blower by Blow. Then another track with Jan Hammer, You Never Know, from There and Back, of course. Because we ended with Lovers, that we did that. Jan Hammer's back with that one, doing that one, brilliant track. Blue Wind, wrote with Jan Hammer because he wrote it. Star Cycle, Big Block. Then he does a few covers he does now. I'd Rather Go Blind, which is of course a Netta James song with Beth Hart singing on it. Brilliant. She's a great singer. And then he does a Buddy Guy number, and guess who's on it? Buddy Guy. Let Me Love You, Baby. Then my favourite track on here, and it's my favourite track off the Loudhailer album, it's Rosie Bones and doing Live in the Dark. It's absolutely killer track. Then my second favourite track off there is on here as well, with Rosie Bones. Loudhailer for, again, Scared for Children. Brilliant. Them two songs on here are brilliant. Then he brings out Billy Gibbons, and they do a version of Rough Boy, and I can tell you it's a lot better than the version on Afterburner. Brilliant. He keeps out, Billy's out there again for another track, and this time they do a Merrill Travis song, 16 Tons. Great vocal from Billy and some great playing from two fine guitarists, of course. Then we have Train Kept a Rollin', which is a Tiny Bradshaw song, but out comes Steven Tyler to sing it because that song appeared on there, Get Your Wings. Then probably the worst track on here, Shape of Things. Great guitar work, but Steven Tyler sang it and he didn't do a good job, I didn't think. Day in the Life. And then this show ends with a cover of a Prince song, Purple Rain, with Beth Hart doing the vocals. Absolutely stunning. This is a killer live album. It's got everything you want from Jeff Beck, going through his old career. The DVD is brilliant as well, and I can only give this one mark 10 out of 10 because it is absolutely fantastic playing and some great guests. And when it has, I mean, Rough Boy's not one of my favourite tracks by ZZ Top, but this version is super. It's a good song that was badly executed back in the 80s. So there we go, a little bit of live Jeff Beck. Can't go wrong with Jeff Beck. Anyway, coming up next is a one-off album review, and it's an album called The Original Sing by Pandora's Box, produced by Jim Steinman. Never heard of the band, but you'll have heard of quite a lot of the songs on that album. So that's coming up next. Bye for now.